Springdale Fire Department showed up to this house off of Hudson Street that was engulfed in flames. The United Methodist Church voted to strengthen its LGBTQ ban. Hardly recognizable now. This is the bedroom of a home off of Sandstone and Pearl. You can see things like a baby bottle and some toys here in this bedroom. Homeowners tell me they were actually picked up during the time of the storm. Remarkably, no one was hurt, but they're calling this a total loss. Crews have already been diverting traffic away from exit 86 here. And for several cars were broken into by unlocked doors or even smashing windows to get things like purses and other valuables. Let's face it, some of those things we do while driving could be second nature or even habits, but what you might not realize is they could be illegal. The number of people affected by this illness has now risen to 175. Multiple crews showing up this morning to a house fire off the 5100 block of Turnhouse Circle here in Johnson. It's only 10 days into January, and some of us may have decided to shed some weight for our New Year's resolutions. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, this group of people is having to forego their golden years and accept a reality that they may never stop working. Just how bad is this problem? Well, to put it in context for you, if the amount of sugar in this packet were replaced with fentanyl, it'd be enough to kill 500 people. Flipping houses, it can be a lot of hard work and a risky business, but a lot of times that risk can turn into reward. And studies say if you're in Fort Smith, you're in one of the best markets to flip a house. Many federal employees who work for the FAA here in the tower behind me continue to show up to make sure radio and communication systems are working properly, even though they're not getting paid. Earlier today, Governor Asa Hutchinson was in Bella Vista to discuss concerns about the stump dump and said fixing the problem won't be easy. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lance Lloyd. Well, for you Cowboys fans, you may have heard of Everson Walls, a four-time Pro Bowl defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys, and his relationship to his friend and teammate Ron Springs. Walls was honored in Texas over the weekend at the 3rd annual Fruit of Spirits Awards banquet. Fox 24's Trent Bennett shows us why a gift from Ron means so much. The first financial report showed some things that didn't match up, and the timing of its release has some locals scratching their heads. Thank you, Blake. Switching gears now, in Fayetteville, the police department was out helping make sure many are able to stay warm this winter season. Thank you there, Kelly. Looking ahead now, construction on Interstate 49 will shut down lanes around Johnson and Springdale. The government shutdown continues, and now domestic violence shelters may have to turn people away.
Yeah, that's my living room right there.
Many in this Van Buren neighborhood now left without a place to lay their head tonight.
Heard glass breaking, things falling over.
All of a sudden, that front window went to breaking.
According to a preliminary report, 124 homes were damaged, 5 of which were completely destroyed by a possible tornado Friday night.
It's sheer chaos. Everything's gone. It's shocking, really.
Larry Dillard was displaced from his home after the roof was torn off, leaving only a mangled framework standing.
Yeah, and that baby bed right there.
2 children under the age of 3 were inside while the storm traveled down the street.
And didn't put a scratch on either one of them.
Hardly recognizable now. This is the bedroom of a home off of Sandstone and Pearl. You can see things like a baby bottle and some toys here in this bedroom. Homeowners tell me they were actually picked up during the time of the storm. Remarkably, no one was hurt, but they're calling this a total loss.
So they're a little shook up, but for the most part, everyone's fine. Everyone has their health, which is the main part. Just luckily, no one was injured during this entire storm.
Although the storm came and went in a flash,
it was just about 15 seconds. That was about it.
The cleanup now begins, and for many, this means restarting from the ground up. In Van Buren, Lance Lloyd, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
It's no longer a local race.
Mail ads from the Republican State Leadership Committee endorsing candidate Jim Webb for Bentonville mayor has Orman asking questions.
If you're going to say something like this, you might want to actually give the facts about it.
The 2 candidates say outside funding has slipped its way into our local elections.
They can spend unlimited funds in a local race.
This is a collection of the mail outs that have been sent either by or on behalf of Jim Webb.
Hey, this is Lance Lloyd. Jim Webb wouldn't go on camera with us, but released this statement today saying, in part, "I do not agree with the negative tactics recently used by the Republican State Leadership Committee."
This is a nonpartisan race, which means that people don't run on the basis of a party.
Both candidates who are in the ads say propaganda used in the mailouts are factually inaccurate and could confuse voters.
Here, it's talking about driving Bentonville into further debt Bentonville has no debt.
Our budget has to be a balanced budget. We're required by law to have a balanced budget, making sure that you're giving answers to people, and I think that's what they're looking for in a mayor.
While the newest mail ads sent out today talk about bonds that Skaggs and Norman are both in favor of to drive the city in debt, both candidates reiterated the fact that bonds are voted on by the citizens of Bentonville and not the mayor. First Sunday morning since the Free Range Cowboy Church caught fire just last week, and while the fire and smoke left its damage, among the ashes stands a church stronger than ever before.
More people show up today than's been here.
In the middle of a country pasture,
We have a good group of people.
pews are replaced by plastic chairs, and behind caution tape sits a congregation.
We're going to gain people from this. This is going to pull us together.
Larry Williams has been a part of the church for nearly a decade and says the response from last week's fire has only been positive.
I'm one of the oldest members, 81 years old, and I've never seen a better turnout.
While the fire sparked anger and sadness, at Sunday's morning service, Pastor Kirby Vaughn led his congregation forward, even with a few laughs.
Just kind of walked around and looked over there, and they said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, it looks like it's on fire, you know."
Pastor Vaughn didn't expect anything less than people packing the temporary tents.
A little bit of fire's not going to keep them away, so.
While members may still have questions,
I can't figure anybody of burning a place where you come to worship the Lord.
leadership believes only one thing matters in the end.
We don't really need to know why. We just need to know which direction we're headed, and that's forward.
For now, a beacon shines over the old and new place of worship.
But it won't be very long, and we'll be back in the building itself.
In Greenwood, Lance Lloyd, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.